Well, hey.
Hey y'all, hey. Happy Friday. Happy Juneteenth part two.
I love it. Juneteenth part two. And don't y'all forget it.
So we are super excited here. I know you're like, what is happening? This is not the speaker podcast. No, it's not. This is a crossover collab episode. This is actually I Am My Morning Coffee. This is the platform for Adelia Johnson, but we're kind of doing like a little episode flip. So before we get into everything, what I need you to do is slide right over to Instagram and Facebook and also YouTube. Follow Adelia on all streaming platforms at I Am My Morning Coffee, and then follow her at Inspire AJ, also on Instagram. We're having a great conversation tonight. And be sure to drop in the chat below. Let us know where you're watching from, tuning in. We want to kind of warm up the room. Hey, Olivia, I see some of our family is here. Auntie Angela is here. I see Jared is here. Hey, Jay, what's going on? And more people are coming in. So be sure, if you care, please share and hit that notification bell and subscribe. And we're gonna hop into it. So we are having Adelia is hosting an amazing month of talks with some amazing women. And if you want the tea on that, I'm not gonna spoil her because you need to be following her to stay in the loop. But there are some amazing guests coming up this month of July, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Each episode is meant to impact, inspire, and also touch some of those soft spots because why? It's real when you heal, and that's what we're here to do, right?
That is real when you
We
heal.
heal.
Hello.
Yes. So for those that don't know who you are, let the people know a little bit about who you are and what is Adelia, who is Adelia Johnson and what does she do?
All right. And first of all, if you all are wondering, why is she looking down? I am looking down because I'm trying to like and share. Like I need you to like and share.
Be
So
obedient.
I'm trying to make sure that I'm following my own instructions, right? So
Yes.
make sure I'm sharing, I'm texting this to people, and yeah, and making sure that people are in the room. But you know what? Camille, I am a lot of things. The Lord has blessed me to be gifted in a lot of different areas.
Yes.
Between being a licensed therapist, social worker, all those things. But what I just want to say for tonight, for
Mhm.
tonight's sake, if there's nothing else that I want you to know about Adelia Johnson, I want you to know that I am the daughter of Sandra Johnson and I am the granddaughter of Ella Mae Darden. And those two women have shifted and shaped my life. They're not the only ones, but what I will say that is that those are the primary ones. So I just want you to know that I'm a daughter and I'm a granddaughter uh of some very special women. And that's what I want you to know about me tonight. If you want to know something else, you can go to my Instagram and and find out all the other information. You can Google
Absolutely.
information to come up. But yeah, but tonight I am a daughter and a granddaughter.
I love it. I'm over here being obedient. I am sharing as well. That
Good,
way the
good.
people can see what is happening over here. So one of the things I want to ask you is you mentioned that you're a licensed therapist. We had a conversation about that previously about the efficacy of mental health professionals. So throughout your work as a therapist, a minister, community leader, all the things,
Thank you.
right? What common themes have you noticed about the influence of mothers and grandmothers?
Oh gosh. In that space, I have noticed the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Mhm,
I have noticed the absence of a mother or a mother figure and how
mhm,
that has impacted women. And I have noticed the beautiful impact that women that have been present as mothers and grandmothers in the lives of other women, how that has shaped the psychology and
mhm.
the mental status of some of the people that I have worked with, have had the joy of working with. So what I will say is this, whether your relationship is positive or negative,
Mhm.
either way, there's an impact. And so that I will say that relationship is important, the absence of it and the presence of it.
Yeah. What is something you've noticed when that relationship is absent or there's a gap?
When there's a gap, there are at times this struggle with identity,
Mhm,
knowing who you are, understanding who you are, why you do some of the things you do. I don't know if anybody on here has ever like had an estranged parent or something like that. Like for instance, when I reconciled with my father,
Mhm.
met him, there were so many things I understood about myself. And so so I think the same goes for when there's an absence of a mother figure, whether it be your a mother, a grandmother, or if there's tension in that mother daughter relationship, then I think there could be some identity issues about
Mhm.
are and who you identify as and what you identify
Mhm.
as a woman, as a as a daughter. And I think for some women it jeopardizes understanding their role as a daughter.
Mhm.
A daughter is a role, and it's a sacred role in my opinion. And so but everyone doesn't fully understand that when you have a gap in those relationships.
Yeah, and then how should someone or what do you say to someone that, they're trying to navigate that space and it's sensitive because, okay, you have this gap, but navigating that space in a way that is, um healing.
Mhm.
Also, it causes you to have some reflection, to see some pain points, but then
Mhm.
also incorporating that therapy piece, so you're not just bookmarked there emotionally or even spiritually, and you're able to move forward throughout your life and still be productive, still achieve and do those things.
Yeah, and what I want to add too is that there's
Yeah.
a category that we kind of forgot, that I
Mhm.
forgot to mention, and that's also the women that whose mothers were there,
Yeah.
but they weren't completely present. They were
Mhm.
abusive. They weren't supportive. They didn't see them, right? But what I will say is, you have to take control, if you will, of your ability to number one, emotionally regulate, and
Mhm.
understand that people, humans, let's just talk about human nature. Uh they do what they can. We do what we can, right? With what
Mhm.
we have. And I'll give a prime example. My mother and I would say had a good relationship. I would probably say that I had a more prevalent relationship with my grandmother than my mom, because my mom, she worked a lot, and rightfully so, understandably so. She had to work, take care of three children. And so she worked a lot. So it's not like we were super close. I remember being younger and being super, really, really close to her. But as I got older, like around 14, 15, and she died when I want to say right before I turned 16. No, no, no. She died when I was 16.
Mhm.
After I turned 16. But leading up to that, my scope in who she was as a woman hadn't
Mhm.
developed yet. So I didn't quite know who she was as a woman. So when she passed away, there was a lot of anger. There was a lot of
Mhm.
confusion, because it's like, well, I didn't get to know you the way that I wanted or desired to know you, right? And so when you have those gaps, I think it's important to understand that God will send you not people necessarily to replace your mother or replace per se, but will definitely, I think, fill the gap in that nurturing of a mother. So I'm not saying go look for it, but what I am saying is if it's something that's important to you, then you can pray for it. And God will send, I think, good sisters. He'll send positive women. Then you surround yourself with what it is. You surround yourself with what it is that you desired from your mother, and you also become what it is that you needed. And when you become what you needed to other people, there's something fulfilling about that. Did I answer that question?
You did, and, first of all, I'm super excited to be in your space, kinda guest hosting. This is a lot of fun. I like this.
Yes, I'm honored. Hold on, let me pause for a second and just say that I am completely honored that I have the THE Camille, all caps, Camille Essick, hosting this show and taking the time to interview me, of all people. Because you have an award-winning podcast, ma'am. And so I'm just thankful for this opportunity in this space. And it's very sacred for me because when I tell you I love these women, I
Mhm.
love my mother. I love my grandmother. And so just to be able to share who they were, what it was like to have known them,
Yeah.
is a complete blessing. So thank you so
Yes,
much for saying
absolutely, and I want everyone to be sure to like, comment, and share as we get into it. Hey, Regina, what up, though? Okay,
what up,
Detroit is in
though.
the house. Absolutely. One of the things I want to ask you is, I know you have done a lot of work putting this series together. So,
Yes.
what has preparing this season taught you about your legacy?
Whoo. Oh, what has preparing this series taught me about my legacy?
Mhm.
Um, that's a really good question. Wow, you kind of got me off guard with that one. So, so what I will say is that it has taught me that being quiet about our stories, it reminds me about the art of storytelling. There we
Mhm.
go. It reminds me on how important that is in the black community, black culture, right? Because that's where I come from, that's where I originate from. Storytelling was the way that we knew wisdom. Storytelling was the way that we knew about your family history, and how it taught you about yourself, really. Even when there was storytelling about family members that weren't so great, it taught you about what paths you didn't want to go down. And so what I will say is, as far as legacy, I'm settling more into what God has called me to do. And I'm finding my vein, and my vein, my lane, and I'm learning to coast in that and be okay with that. And it doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be all showy. Sometimes it's just having a conversation.
Mhm.
And I think that's part of my legacy right now. This beautiful thing called the internet will forever hold a digital footprint. And so I'm praying that when women or ladies or whatever, years and years and years from now, um, come to the internet and they find I am my morning coffee, they'll
Mhm.
find this conversation and they'll see, you know what? Let me talk about my mom, my dad, my mom, my grandmother, these women in my life, even if they were not necessarily related by blood. Let me talk about how amazing they were. Because sometimes grief will make you shut up about who they are,
Mhm.
because of the emotions that sometimes comes with it. And even though I am just a tad bit emotional, but I'm more so emotional because I get the opportunity to tell people about who they were that have never known them, through the art and the beautiful ways of storytelling. And so
Mhm.
I will say that that's part of my legacy. Part of my legacy is telling stories. Is part of talking about people that you may never otherwise meet, or you may never otherwise know, because it's not mainstream media. They're not, Oprah. They're not famous. They're, or anything like that, but they were famous to me. They were special to me, and they may impact on me. And so maybe if something that I share that they've done will make somebody else want to be better. And so that's what I will say, as far as my legacy is concerned, concerning this internet here.
Mhm. And then when you talk about your mom and your grandmother and all these other amazing women in your life, what is something you may have seen that as a younger Adelia
Mhm.
you didn't like, but then it made sense to you when you were older?
That's a really good question. I may throw people off with this, but just walk with me. All right.
Mhm.
One of the things that I saw you said that I didn't like, right? Okay.
Or
Um,
like you didn't understand the principle behind it, but then as you grew into womanhood, it was like, okay, I can understand why they told me that.
okay. So, my grandmother used to always say, never do anything out of spite. She used to
Mm,
always say that. And she told me the story behind why she said that. And she said that because so she had a first marriage, and in her first marriage she said that she married that young gentleman to spite the man she really loved. Okay. They ended up having a child, and unfortunately that first husband died before that child was born. So
mm,
then my grandfather comes back from the army, and he marries her, and he takes that daughter on as his own. You could
right.
not tell him that that was not his child. And so from that life lesson for her, whatever that was, she used to always say, don't do things out of spite. Don't do things out of spite. And when I was younger, growing up, with school and kids, and you like, man, these people, I want to do things out of
The
spite.
people are peopling.
Yeah, because people are peopling. What do you
Yes.
mean, grandma, mama, big ma? What you mean? Don't do things out of spite. But as I got older, I understood, what? Revenge and spite, it doesn't lead anywhere positive. It
Mhm.
doesn't yield any good result for anybody. And life has an interesting way um of I mean, it's a principle actually. Life has an interesting way of giving people back what they give.
Reaping and sowing is a real thing.
Reaping and sowing. And that's not, that you wish anything bad on anybody. It's not that. And she always used to tell me that too. Don't wish anything bad on anybody. And I don't, but I have learned that people that have misused me, or people that have done me wrong, or things of that nature, it's not even worth pursuing quote unquote revenge. It's not worth it honestly, it's not worth being mad at them. And let me say this, and then I'll let you ask the next question. But the optimist uh plight, if you will, is sometimes people always think the optimist is okay. And what I mean by that, I just experienced something like a few days ago, right? Um, that has impacted my household. And people that have called and checked on me and things of that nature, I'm so grateful for. But also, it can be a little confusing because there's so much gratitude in the situation and circumstance. Am I going through it? Absolutely. But I am so grateful to God and how He has kept me. And so, how dare I spend time and mind space on people that misuse me, or people that think they may have used me, and spend all this head space on how to get them back and how to spite them, when I could spend more time focusing. I am trying not to cry. I can spend more time focused on the people that love me, Camille.
Mhm.
I am loved. If there was a lie that the enemy tried to tell me when I was younger, though, is that nobody cared about me.
Mm.
And I think my mother dealt with the same thing. My mother
Mhm.
dealt with that very same thing. That nobody cared about her, that nobody cared about her life, her children, her circumstances. And so I honestly believe that caused a shorter lifespan for her. My mother died at 43.
Mm.
Not that far from that. But my mother died at 43. And I just think that if she had a village like I have, she would have been here longer. I have an amazing village. I have people that love me for real. And it really had me thinking, honestly, the other day, like, Lord, I pray that the people that love me that way, that they feel the love that I have for them.
Mhm.
Because I always want to look at myself. I want to make sure that I am also reflecting that I love and care about the people that are around me, because I have such a great group of people around me. I don't want to lose them, and I don't want to be accused of mishandling them. And so basically, to answer your question, one of those things was, don't do things to spite people. And I don't have to, because I just got too many amazing people around me that love and
Yeah.
care about me.
Yeah. I think sometimes we can be guilty of so focused on who didn't stay,
Yeah.
but failing to celebrate who remained and
Ah,
giving them their flowers, and I think that's very important. It's also part of, stewardship, but then
absolutely.
you're gonna always have those that filter out, and it's not that you are throwing people away. It's
Mhm.
just in this season of life of however God is moving you or
Mhm.
healing you, they cannot be privy to this chapter or
Yeah.
season of life,
Mhm.
but you never know how it can come back around later on.
Right.
But in that healing space, you have to understand and know how to put people in different. I joke with Olivia, we talk about the inner court and the outer court. You have people we call your outer court people,
I
and
love
then you have,
that.
like,
I
your
love that.
behind the veil people, or
Yes.
here in we're here in Atlanta live doing this, episode, and
ATL
so
Live. She's here in Atlanta, y'all.
ATL Live, yes, and, Atlanta, we all fly Delta, right? And so you have, like, your econ coach and Delta Comfort in first class, and
Yes.
so it's like, are they a first class person? Are they Delta Comfort? or they stand by, and sometimes you gotta move those seats around.
Yeah, sometimes you do. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
With
So
zero
one of the
guilt.
things I want to respect your time because I love to ask questions.
Yes, I
Um,
love the questions. This is good.
so what has actually inspired you to create to have known her? Like, what has been your inspiration behind this series?
The inspiration behind this series was I I love her. I love Angela. I love you so much.
Yes.
One of the things was I was thinking about father. It was actually around Father's Day. Not Father's Day. I'm sorry. It was after Mother's Day. It was like during the month of June.
Mhm.
That I started thinking about all of the knowledge and the wisdom that I have acquired from my mother's life, my grandmother's life. And I'm like, man, they'll no one will ever get the chance to like meet them. Like not now, right?
Mhm.
And so how in the world can I articulate, and I'm not the only one, right? So I'm not the only one that have an amazing mother or grandmother that have gone on to be with the Lord. And so we need this wisdom out there. We're in a generation right now where information is just it's just so much. It's so much information that you can have access to. And the intent behind the information, the background behind the information, all of that matters. And so some of these nuggets and wisdom and stuff like that we get from some of these females and women on the internet is complete trash. Let me just say that. Okay, it comes
Mhm.
from a heart of jealousy. It comes from a heart of anger, resentment, all of that. And so because of that, I'm like, you know what? Let me create a space of what I would say pure intent, if you will. Where I literally just want you to know who some good women are. I want you
Mhm.
to know what wisdom you can acquire from them, because we're in such a we're dealing with AI, and AI can be great. It can be used well, but not everybody uses AI with integrity. And so, because of that, we need to hear some real stories. We need to get some real wisdom out here. I think about some of these, things that influence our young girls. These housewife shows and fighting on the internet and all this other stuff. And I'm like,
Throwing drinks, it's
yeah,
crazy.
it's insane. Like
On
that.
a housewife show, you don't even have a husband.
How are you a house girl? That still confuses me. How are you a housewife on a show and you don't have a husband at all? Or how are you being on a housewife show make you lose your husband? It's just all confusing. So so
Yeah.
so yeah, so I just this series was really birthed out of a pure place of we need to tell the women's stories that have gone on. And just the same way, I'm praying to the Lord for a good 100. Thank you, Lord. I see 100. Thank you. That's what I want. That's what I desire. But after that 100, I want somebody to tell my story. I want to live a life in a way where people will talk about me um in a way that it'll help them. It'll help them grow. And most importantly, I pray that people talk about my life in a way that, oh, she helped draw people closer to Christ.
Mhm. The witness.
The witness. Absolutely.
That is
Absolutely. I'm not trying to be
amazing.
perfect, but I want people to walk away from me knowing, that I tried my best to draw people closer to Christ by being friendly, by being kind, by being encouraging.
Yes, yes. And, mutual contact of ours that I introduced you to this week came
Yes.
back and said, "She's such a nice person. She's a nice woman."
Okay.
Yeah, he did. He was like,
Praise
She's a
God.
nice person, like, she's really nice." I said, "Yeah."
Wow. Wow. That's a
I meant
blessing.
to tell you that earlier, but yeah, but I was like, "I need to tell it."
You.
But he was like, "Yeah, she's so nice."
Aw. That's sweet. Thank you. That made my day.
Mhm. Absolutely. Couple more things. We may not get to everything. We might have to do a part 2. You might have to come over to the speaker podcast and,
Yes.
part 2 of this,
Yes.
I don't know, but
Do
we'll
another
try to
crossover.
cross over again, like doing Allen Iverson, all this crossing.
Yes.
Um, one of the things I wanna ask you is, what do you hope, viewers get from this series as they're watching throughout the month of July?
I hope that you pull nuggets from these amazing women
Mhm.
that we have had the opportunity to know personally. I want to share a quick story about my grandmother and who and the type of woman who she was.
Yes.
And I share this with the intent that I hope and pray that, I'm not saying you have to be like her or you have to do this, but if you can just take even just a fraction of what she did and turn your heart, and be open towards serving others in this way, that
Yes.
it will just be better for your own life. So I remember my my grandma used to cook, and my grandma can throw down, y'all. Like, and I don't talk about it much. Don't get it twisted. I can do a little something in the kitchen. All right, I can do a little razzle dazzle. All
What
right,
you
I know how to make
doing?
homemade cornbread from scratch. I know how to do the collard greens. I know how to make a peach pie from scratch. I know how to do stuff. All right,
Come on.
and all that comes from her, from watching her in the kitchen. But she used to cook these big pots of greens and
Mm.
cornbread. She would break it up. She would put these collard greens in these containers, and she would send us out like disciples in the neighborhood. And we out passing out collard greens and passing out cornbread. And I'm like, why in the world why is she feeding the whole neighborhood? I used to get mad because I'm like, ain't nobody's feeding you. Ain't nobody sending you nothing. And during Christmas time, I kid you not, Christmas time, meanwhile, I don't know who that is. I think that's one of my friends. But anyway, you hush, you'll get a plate one day. But but anyway, but yes, yeah, I got you on the next trip, Angela. But one of the things during Christmas time, everybody on the street got a gift. And not just everybody on the street. My grandmother had a gift for everybody. Either it was gonna be some socks and some cookies, it was gonna be some peppermint and a box of cookies. Like, I don't care what it was. She would order all this stuff from Finger Hut. I don't know if y'all remember what Finger Hut
Yes, I
was.
remember Finger Hut. They
She
walked so Tima when she ain't could run.
she would order so much stuff from Finger Hut, and she would go to Walmart and like stores and buy like certain things. Y'all, everybody and their mama got a gift. And growing up, I'm like, why is she being this way? And I realized she understood something that a lot of us don't. We don't know who needs a pick me up. We don't know. I didn't know about these single mothers that she knew about on the street, that was their only meal, Camille.
Mm,
I didn't know about these elderly people that were on the street that didn't have grandchildren and
mhm,
children that came back and saw about them.
mhm,
So they were elderly. They didn't eat. Sometimes they forget to eat until my grandmother sent that pot of greens and cornbread down there.
mhm,
And so for me, it may have been just a pot of greens and cornbread and why we feed the neighborhood and a Christmas gift, but it was so much bigger than that. It was
mhm,
ministry. She did ministry from a bed, from and was bedridden because
mm,
in the latter part of her life, she was stuck in the bed, and she took care of everybody from right there in her bed. And just one other quick thing about my mom. My mom taught me something about work ethic.
mhm,
When you want something, how bad do you want it, right? She loved us, and she proved that she loved us. And it wasn't until I got older that I understood there's a street that she used to walk down from. She used to walk from our apartment complex when we lived in Marietta, and she used to walk to the bus stop. Marta doesn't run in Cobb County, so she would have to catch this Cobb County Transit. I drove that street one day just to see, because I remember her calling, like she'll call from work and be like, "Hey, can y'all meet me at the bus stop?" And of course, us being kids, we just like, "Oh yeah, sure." We never met her. We never met her at the bus stop. Okay,
what?
we, yeah, she always got home and she was just like, "Y'all didn't meet me down there at the bus stop. Oh, we was playing with our friends or whatever. We were young, we were kids, we didn't know." But I didn't know my mother was walking 3 miles. I drove that street and started to cry because I was like, my mom worked hard all day long. And then she walked 3 miles from the bus stop to home. And all she wanted was for her kids to meet her, to walk, for her not to walk alone down this dark street. Thank God she never got robbed, mugged, anything like that. But she taught me something about work ethic, and she taught me something about showing up for people, and showing how to showing saying showing people that love shows up for real. Like, your presence matters, how you show up matters. And so those are just some nuggets that I would say, um that I got from them. And one other thing, I'm sorry, I'll
No,
let you.
no, like, I'm learning because 'cause I'm just, like, 3 miles is
I can tell
far.
you all night. But my grandmother used to write me handwritten letters,
Mhm.
like during my birthday and during Christmas and all of that. And this is actually one of the handwritten letters that she that she wrote me. And I won't read it in its entirety. But this is from July 12th, 2003. And yes, I still have the letter because I keep those things that, that matter to me. And she said, to my granddaughter, today is a special day. It's your birthday. You are 19 years younger, smile, and we thank God for you. You remind me so much of your mother. The Lord knows He will call your mother home soon at the age of 43, and He put you in her place for us to love and have a part of her in you. Delia, I am not trying to make you be sand. That's my mom. I just wish you happiness and love in life that I wished for her. You are being blessed doing the things she wanted to do, but the devil got in her way. But I am praying that you be a better one. If we keep praying and try to help you, you will be all right. We all love you very much, and I hope you have peace, love, and happiness. You are a good girl, and I hope you stay that way. I don't have anything to give you, but I am giving you this cologne. It's from my heart. Love forever. Your granny Ella. And so
Wow.
it was letters like that that encouraged me,
Mhm.
that just made me want to be better, because she saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, um at a very young age. And so I thank God for her and all that she poured into me and who she was. And I really wish that people had the opportunity to know her, because she was everyone's grandmother. I
I
brought
love
folks
that.
home from college, and they would wash their clothes. And because I went to Clark Atlanta and we was 20 minutes away, they would wash their clothes. They would come and eat. They would get a meal. She was nice to the people I didn't like too much, and she just loved everybody. And
Wow.
so yeah, I
And
think I
that's
answered that question in
beautiful.
this.
Yes, you did, and that's beautiful to have a letter from your grandmother because my grandmother passed away before social media really became a thing,
Yeah.
and so the fact that you have a letter from her,
Mhm.
because I would do anything to have, like, a letter or a video and hear her voice,
Yeah.
and you know how you try to keep a cell phone message for so long and then it just goes away, and
Yeah.
voicemail that she had set up when, cell phones became a thing, but
Mhm.
after so long, the number, they lose the number because 'cause they're not longer here, but it's
Right.
just like to have that, it's a piece of her vocali like her, vocally, even though it's
Yeah.
written, it's like it's her you can read it in her voice and still
Yes.
kind of recall that recall memory, that memory recall, and
Yeah.
so I think that's really amazing. So
Thank
as we begin to wrap up, and this has just been such an awesome conversation, if you have gotten something from tonight's combo, please drop it in the comments below. We really would love to hear from you. So
you.
what is next for I Am My Morning Coffee and for you personally?
Thank you so much. So what is coming up next is I am settling back into my vein of doing shows. And so I am excited because I really love this the art of storytelling. And so actually, as you can see behind me, we do have excuse me, Dr. Matisa coming up next on July 10th. So I'm so excited to hear about her and her mother. And then we have the amazing Dr. Shirley Moore. Lady Moore will be on July 17th. And then we have Kimberly Tolbert, who will be up after that. And so I am just so excited about this. God has not released August show as of yet, but I know right now, as of July, we are in the To Have Known Her series. I don't know if it'll extend because it depends on the feedback. I think if people are enjoying it, matter of fact, I was talking to Angela And I was like, why isn't she on the lineup? So I need to add Angela on the lineup because she has shared some beautiful things about her mother, and they have blessed me and encouraged me. And so I think other people will also benefit from hearing some of that wisdom. Thank you so much, Olivia. I greatly appreciate that. Yes, yes, I know they are proud. I have had plenty of my mother's friends tell me, your mom used to talk about you all the time. She used to talk about how proud she was of you and how she didn't have to worry about me. And I was like, Lord, that was a lot of responsibility you put on me, but but I'm thankful. I'm thankful to God.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that she
Well,
felt that
that
way.
wraps up the intro to this series. I hope you all enjoyed it. I am tonight's guest host, Camille Essick, stepping in over here at I Am My Morning Coffee, hosted, founded, and created by the amazing Adelia Johnson. Again, be sure to follow her online across all social media platforms. Hit that notification bell and subscribe. And if you're catching the replay, hey, it's better late than never. So thank you for tuning in. And with that being said, y'all be blessed. Good night and have a good evening. Happy 4th of July slash Juneteenth part two. Y'all be safe out there, and we'll see you next time. Good night. Bye
All right, good
bye.
night. Love y'all.